Hello everyone, it's Min Ling from Brand Fame, and I'm super excited to be here with you today for another branding tip. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Min Ling. I'm a branding strategist and coach, and I help female entrepreneurs figure out what their brand is, especially their message, so they can attract the clients that they desire. And I'm super excited to share the one thing you must nail in order to make money in your business. So, a lot of people think in order to make money in their business, they have to have like some glamorous websites, and they have to be completely branded, beautiful photos and all this stuff, right? And it's actually not true. You don't need a beautiful website in order to make money in your business. Actually, I don't even recommend it. I recommend something else. So you might be thinking, why is this person, not recommending doing a website and having a branded photo shoot, which I'll go over in a minute. But just to give you a little background of who I am, I'm a branding strategist and coach, and I have been working in corporate, branding for many years. I have over 8 years of experience working in branding and marketing for companies such as Nestle, Lean Cuisine, Toll House. I've also consulted with Toyota, other billion-dollar companies like UBM and Sumitomo and all this stuff. And I have a lot of experience with branding, and the reason why I share with you that you don't want to do a website, especially if you're a new entrepreneur, is because you don't actually need to have a website in order to make sales in your business. I actually had one of my programs that sold really well, one of my one-on-one programs that sold really well. I didn't even have a sales page for. And you might be thinking, but how do people get to know you? How do people understand what you do? Well, the reason why I didn't need, a sales page or any of that to make any money in this particular business was because I got this one thing right. And the single most important thing that you must nail is your message. Your message is the part that connects you to your ideal clients, and it makes them want to buy from you. If your message is off, if your message doesn't resonate, if your message isn't something that they're looking for, they're never going to buy. You can't convince somebody to buy something. There's no possible way for you to convince somebody to buy something. So instead, you have to figure out what your message is and get that right. So let's talk about this. I'm going to share a little story with you. So when I was working on Lean Cuisine, we had a product that we were launching. It was a steam bag. It's about this high. And basically, we had to figure out how to market it because it was something that was different in the market. It was not seen. Oh, hi Stephanie, she's on Facebook Live. It was something that wasn't seen in the market because most things from Lean Cuisine were in a black tray, right? They were in a black tray. You heated it up, and you ate at your desk or in the black tray. Well, the steam bag, you couldn't do that. You had to pour it on a plate, and then you could eat it right after you steamed it in the microwave. So the reason why we had to find the right message was because our clients or our customers at the time wouldn't know what to do with this bag, which they're not used to eating out of a bag or on a plate. And so I had to find the insights to craft a message of why people should buy this product or service. This is where messaging is very important. So what we uncovered when we were doing our research was that a lot of people ate Lean Cuisines at lunch and they ate it in the black tray. But when it came to dinner, they weren't interested in eating a Lean Cuisine in a black tray. Why? Here's the insight. They felt bad about themselves eating Lean Cuisine during dinner time. And it was from there that we got our aha, well, that's a problem. They want to still eat healthy. They may potentially still want to eat their Lean Cuisine, but inside they felt uncomfortable and that they weren't taking care of themselves when they were eating in a black tray. So this is where we crafted a message, or I crafted a message around it. So I wrote a bunch of concept statements when we were testing it out. And the message for the audience was that the steam bag would allow you to freshly, steam your items. And then you can take care of yourself by putting it on a plate. You'll have al dente pasta. You can pull up a glass of wine. I forget the exact concept statement that I wrote, but basically it was to the effect of really helping people understand that they were treating themselves by using the steam bag versus eating out of a black tray. And as a result of getting the right message, we launched this product. It was a back half launch, so it launched in June of 2010, and it grossed $54 million. And it won Product of the Year as voted on by consumers within the frozen food market, which is really competitive. If you look at the frozen food market, there's so many different, competitors out there. It was even copied by Kashi. I remember seeing Kashi doing the same thing, copying us with the steam bag. And so it actually worked, and it did really well in the stores. People loved it because I was able to understand their behavior, their insight, why people may potentially want this, item that they weren't used to buying. And it all goes back to having the right message. So what you need to do is you need to find a particular problem for your ideal client, an insight about their behavior. I'm going to go into a couple of the details and the steps in a second, but I want to make sure this is tracking. If this is tracking, if this is making sense, comment yes below, tap the screen for some hearts so I know this is tracking with you guys. So back to the problem, you're not just looking for the problem. You're looking for what are they really struggling with? What are they up at night for and really not getting any resolution for? You want to think about what are they sick and tired of? What do they wish they could change? So back to the lean cuisine example, people didn't feel good about themselves when they ate lean cuisines at dinner. That was an insight. They just felt icky about that because they didn't feel like they were taking care of themselves. That insight was the impetus for us creating the concept statement where we really positioned the product as a dinner time solution. And so when you're able to understand these points, what are they struggling with? What are they sick and tired of? What do they wish they could change? That's when people will start to buy because you are talking directly to the struggle, directly to what they're sick and tired of, directly to what they wish they could change. Apple is another great example of this. They were able to take an insight and turn it into many different products. For the iPhone, their insight was that people didn't want to carry 4 or 5 different devices. If you remember back before, I think 2007 when they launched it, you had a BlackBerry if you were working, you had your cell phone, you had your MP3 player, and you had a camera if you were going on vacation, right? You had 4 or 5 different things, and they didn't all work together or work really well. So what Apple did was they combined all those things into one device, which is the iPhone. And that started this smartphone, revolution, right? And it was because they had this insight that people didn't want to carry 4 different devices. So sometimes the problem is not necessarily a problem that your ideal client articulates. You want to go a layer deeper and really figure out what they're struggling with and what they're sick and tired of and what they wish they could change. And once you're able to find this and figure this out, you can start to create solutions around the insights. And these are things that people actually will want to have. So again, really think about not just the problem, but what they're struggling with, what they're sick and tired of, what they wish could change, because that will help you figure out what your message should be. And when you're able to connect what they're struggling with your solution, that'll make people want to buy. Another thing to remember is that you want to also have a sense of urgency. You want to make sure that this is an urgent problem for them. That's why I'm asking the questions that's why I'm asking the questions of, are you really struggling? What are you really struggling with? What are you really sick and tired of? And what do you wish you could change? What is the one thing you wish you could change? I'm just not asking for the problem. I'm asking for the deeper layer and understanding what makes them so frustrated that they just want to scream. Because if I can solve that frustration for them, if I can solve that really deep pain point for them, then they're going to want to buy from me, right? If I am able to solve that and create a message around that pain point. For example, I see a lot of people struggling so much with getting clients. They're like, I don't know how to get clients. I have no clue. I put out opt-ins, nobody's signing up. I put out, offers, nobody's taking me up on it. What's wrong? Why can't I solve this problem? Why can't I book any clients? Why don't people want to buy with me? It's not what you're doing that's wrong. It's really not what you're doing. You're doing all the right quote unquote steps, right? But the thing that is missing for you is getting a message that really hits home with your ideal clients, to their pain point, to their frustration, to what they're struggling with. And until you get that message right, it doesn't matter if you have a beautiful website. It doesn't matter if you have beautiful branding photo shoots. It doesn't matter if you have an opt-in. It doesn't matter. All those things do not matter unless you have your message. When you have your message, you are able to then connect to your ideal clients in a deeper way, and they actually want what you have. For example, I had a client. She was struggling with her message. She wanted to be a coach for millennials and help people start their own businesses, right? She was struggling. She couldn't get a discovery call. She couldn't get any traction in her business. And she felt really stuck. She's like, what's going on? I can't get this right. When we were able to sit down and really dissect what she was good at doing, it wasn't her product or service necessarily. What was wrong was that she was not speaking to her ideal clients what they really wanted. What she was really good at was helping people, become visible online. She has like an Instagram following of over, 9,000 people. She has lots of Facebook followers. She is a yoga instructor, so she has a lot of those pictures and images that are very captivating as well. So what we were able to do was that we rebranded her as, instead of a coach for millennials, into an online visibility coach. And at first it was for health and fitness professionals. Right? She's since moved on to life coaches because that's more of her passion. But when we rebranded her, it was online visibility coach for health and wellness professionals. And as soon as we did that, less than a week, it was like 4 days afterwards, she messages me and she's like, I booked 9 discovery calls. Whereas before, months beforehand, she couldn't do anything. She couldn't go ahead and book any discovery calls. And the reason why was because her messaging was off. It was not in alignment to her. It was not in alignment to what her ideal clients want. Oh, hi Sherry, nice to see you. She's on Facebook Live. But it wasn't in alignment, right? And that's why your message is so important to get and to have down, or else you're not going to be able to sell anything to your ideal clients. If your message is off, you're not going to get people lining up to work with you. You're not going to make any sales. And this is why it's so important. And that's why I've created a one-day workshop around messaging and getting it crystal clear for you so that you can have similar type of results, right? So that you can know that whatever you're putting out there, people actually want to buy. So we're going to dissect what your message should be, figuring out what the real pain points are for your ideal clients. Not just the cursory, what the problem is, but going down to the insight level to figure out what they're really struggling with, what they're sick and tired of, what they wish they could change. And then we're going to marry it with what you're really good at doing. Because when you're in alignment with your message as well too, when you're in 100% alignment, things start to shift quickly. And so this is a one-day workshop happening August 7th, and it will be very limited to about 5 people who I just wanted to be very small and intimate so I can work one-on-one with you and also make sure that we have some laser coaching time so that we can really shape your message as well too. So by the end of the time we're working together, you'll know exactly what your message is for your ideal clients so that they would want to purchase from you. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can go to brandfameschool.com/message. It's not a sales page. It's not an opt-in site. That's if you are serious of signing up, that's where you will go to secure your spot. So if you're interested in that and you're struggling with having crickets, when you try to put out your opt-in, or you're struggling with getting people to notice you, if you're struggling with getting attention, if you're struggling with discovery calls and you're wondering why, it's your message. It's honestly, there's no other way around it. It's your message. Until you get your message right, everything else you do won't matter. You'll just be wasting money on your website, on pretty graphics, on logos, on your pictures. You'll be spinning your wheels on opt-ins. You got to get this right first. If you don't get this right, you have no business. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about this. I am a branding expert, but I like branding from a strategic standpoint, from understanding your psychology of your message and making sure that's on point, because that's the foundation of everything that you do. And if you don't get this right, then it's hard to go ahead and actually have a business that will be successful, because you're just going to be selling products and services that people don't want. And if people don't want it, you don't have a business. And that's just the hard facts. So if you're interested in doing this one-day workshop, you can go to brandfameschool.com/message, and you can go ahead and sign up. Again, there's only 5 spots that are available. So I want to make sure that you guys know this. This is a very limited amount of spots. But hopefully this was helpful. You got some key takeaways. You really got to get your message down. Start by doing the insight, really understanding what the insights are, going down that layer deeper, not just like asking them what the problems are, because people won't necessarily be able to articulate the problem. Back to the Apple example, people weren't able to articulate that they were tired of, they wanted one device. If somebody could give me one device for all these phones, they were just tired of carrying 4 different devices. Back to my lean cuisine example, people were just tired, just not feeling good about eating lean cuisines in a black tray for dinner. And we were able to take that insight and create a $54 million product, that one product of the year that I'm still very proud of, and I still talk about, because that was one of my favorite projects that I worked on and led. So you got to get to that layer deeper and really understand what people are struggling with, what they're sick and tired of, what they wish they could change. And when you're able to get that, you're able to then craft the message around what the issue is, the real issue is. And that's when people will start to want to buy your products and services. So hopefully this was helpful. I enjoy the scope. I'm going to try to, or scope and Facebook Live, I'm on both. I'm going to try to do this again. I'm going to try to do it again every day this week. So be on the lookout for any more scopes or live streams by me. And again, if you want to really master your message so you can start attracting and booking clients you desire, go to brandfameschool.com/message to sign up. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll catch you later. Bye.